Hi, it's Carrie. Today I am going to be doing another one of my cheap art supply videos. This one will be the watercolour, which you'll see in just a moment. I bought it for £1.50 in the works. I have since seen it at £1 in Poundland and £2 in the range, but at any rate it's cheap in any of those places. So let's take a look at how it performs. Let's crack into this. This seems to be a pointless piece of paper that was just lying on top. Have a small indentation here, presumably for mixing colours. The classic useless kids paintbrush, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, they call them cakes of watercolour. In order to see how these perform, we will of course need to swatch them. Seems to be picking up colour nicely. I have just realised that you can't see that particular part of the page. And it goes down smoothly, there's no lumps, which is good, although looking at the cake itself, you might not be able to see it on camera. Let's see if I can do this. Looking at the cake itself, you can see that there are actually small black dots inside it. Now, there are a couple in some of the others as well, the pink, and there's actually a very noticeable one in the yellow there. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be affecting their performance. Let's try the green now. I should point out that I'm not using watercolour paper at the moment because I'm not entirely sure where it is after the move, so I'm making do with good old 90 GSM cartridge paper. That's interesting. As I'm putting the brush in to clean it off, there are lumps of the pigment on top of the water here. Okay, you might not believe me, but these are actually two different blues on the palette, so I'm just going to show you here. This one was what I put here. It looks very dark like that. Maybe it's just because it was watered down so much, but it looked basically the same as this one, which is what I just put down. Yeah, look, there's hardly a difference. And I did notice as well that the pink and the red seem extremely similar. I'm sure that if I put on more layers of the red, it would look more red, whereas the pink would stay pink. But at the moment, with just 1 or 2 layers, the red does look like the pink. Considering I've only actually put down 1 layer of that black, it's really deep. I really like that. Now, I have never actually done gradients in watercolour, so we'll see how this goes. Need to clean my brush off properly because it still looks kind of blue. Okay, that's interesting. It's not coming out of the brush at all. It has actually stained my brush. Okay, let's try a simple gradient from green to blue. I think that works quite well. That's actually quite pretty. Let's try and do something a little bit spacey. Let's see what it's like with mixing some colours, because I would like a darker purple than this. Just gonna try something different here. So it's possible to do pretty much all of the regular watercolour things that I know of. There is just one more thing to test, which is water on the page and then paint into the water. Like I said, this is just cartridge paper, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I love this. I've been wanting to use watercolour for a while, but I haven't wanted to because the only watercolours I own is this set, and I wanted my first video with them, my first use of them, to be a video reviewing them. So I'm going to see if I can find some watercolour paper, and if not, just going to have to use the same thing again. I have my 2 pieces of A4 sized paper now. Leave one off to the side for later. I needed 2 because this one is going to be my ideas page and the other one is going to be my final piece. Okay, so that's idea number 1. I actually really like that background, but I should do something else just so that I know there's a bit of variety to choose from. I need this background to dry before I can do the detail on what I want to do on this one. It is worth noting though that this was just 3 layers of paint and the paper is coming up a bit, which I wouldn't expect to happen using watercolours on watercolour paper. It does seem to be dry. I wasn't sure whether silver would show up very well on here or whether I should use white, although the white doesn't seem to be working. There we go, I've just drawn on my own finger so I can tell that the white is working. Let's see. Okay, the white clearly doesn't like this paper. Right, gold it is. And just in case, I've also got my mechanical pencil to see how well this shows up. And that's just tearing up the paper. It won't be the pencil then. But I was aiming to do a galaxy here, that's what that was supposed to be. Like I said, I really like this background, so I'm going to see what else I can do with it. This initial line I actually have done on both of these in yellow, just to have some sort of fading transition between the blue and the green. I have an idea that I want to put Pokemon on it, but I don't know which ones. So as I ponder that, I'll move on to the next one. Okay, I've just ruined that section entirely by making it green instead of yellow. Because it was recently Easter, I have been wanting to draw a bunny recently, so I think that will be the Pokemon that I choose. Now, bear in mind I'm doing this sketch off the top of my head, so it's not going to look like this on the main thing if this one's chosen, because I will actually do practice sketches of the bunny and make it look right. I got a bit carried away with the amount of space taken up by the last one, so these are the 5 options. We have a spacey one, a tree, which will be obviously an awful lot more detailed than this one on the main thing, a green background with what will be a shed load of flowers, not just a few, just absolutely covered in flowers. This one is just the basic sky and grass with a bunny. And then we've got sunset over the sea with a ship, sailing ship. Okay, so I'm going to ask my boyfriend which one he would like me to draw, and whichever one he decides will be on the second sheet of paper. Alright, Jason, which one do you want me to do?
That one.
The tree?
Yes.
Okay. I had an idea, because I've wanted to do something to do with Pokemon for a while, and Jason chose the tree. So I could have a Pokemon at the bottom of the tree, and who better to have at the bottom of a tree leaning on it than a Snorlax. And maybe it could be an apple tree, and the Snorlax is so asleep that it can't feel an apple bouncing off its belly. I should have something underneath this, just to make sure that the mat doesn't get ruined. Hit the wrong button, so I didn't manage to record me doing this, but it's the next day, and as you can see, I'm just starting on the tree here. So as you saw, I have just finished my little painting, which I have down here, and I will show it to you again just so you can see it properly. Here we go, little Snorlax. I'm really quite proud of this, but what I am here for is to see whether it is possible to make a decent painting out of these paints, which I have proved it is, and also to review them. Now, like I said at the beginning, there are some weird dark colour specks in the cakes themselves, which is slightly odd. Other than that, they're not too bad. I mean, they're not the best watercolours I've used, but they're also not the worst. So if you're just looking for watercolour and you don't have a budget of a tenner, then these will do you quite well. Sorry about the shake there, slightly wobbly hand. So that will be it from me for this week. I am working on a couple of other things at the moment, but one of them won't be coming out for a little while as it's involving resin, but we shall see. Now then, I do want to find out what Jason thinks of this because he's the one that chose the tree, so let's find out.
I think it's good.
Okay, there's the answer. He thinks it's good.
Really good.
So I will see you again soon. My Instagram is in the description box, and I will fairly soon be starting to sell things. So as soon as that website is set up, I'll let you guys know about that as well. Bye!